Hi guys, it's Reenie. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my natural hair story, why I decided to stop chemically straightening my hair, and why I decided to stop, I wouldn't say hiding my hair, but putting braids on or wearing wigs and just embracing my natural curls and embracing my natural hair texture. It took me a really long time to feel comfortable wearing my hair naturally. I don't really know how that sounds. I don't know if anyone else can relate to that, but growing up I didn't necessarily know what to do with my hair, and that was obviously passed down from my upbringing. And my mum, she was very young when she had me, and I think a lot of people with Afro hair don't necessarily know how to look after the hair and get the best out of it. So a lot of girls tend to put weaves or wigs or just chemically straighten the hair because they're fed up and they feel like it's a hassle. And I was definitely one of those people. I never really wore a weave. I think I probably had once or twice, and at one point I was wearing half wigs and then just having my hair natural, but using GHDs and not chemically straightening but just straightening. And so this side of my hair had a lot of heat damage from that. I was going in between half wigs and straightening my hair and using braids because I don't really like the idea of weaves and not being able to touch my own scalp. So although it's not my hair naturally, I felt like you could curl it, you could straighten it, you could put it up, and I felt like it was more manageable. I definitely would say the main reason for me stopping to use or put braids in my hair was the time factor. I started to do it myself because of the pricing, and although in Dubai it's not so expensive compared to the UK because I'm from London, so prices can vary. I'm from the south of London, so the last time I got braids done, it could be anything from £60 up to 150, 200, depending on where you're going. If you're going to go to a high-end place, or if you're going to go to like a back street random place that I used to go to in Croydon. I lived in the Middle East for, I would say, about 3 years, and the climate, well, obviously is amazing. It doesn't rain, it's very hot all the time, and there's rarely any humidity, so it was a really good place to live to make that transition for my hair. Although I saved money, I was just becoming really tired and I wanted to change. So to cut a long story short, I had a lot of time off of work due to family issues, and I couldn't really afford to even buy natural hair to braid in my hair because I don't really like the idea of synthetic hair. And at that point, that was one of the reasons that pushed me to go natural and to wear my hair in its natural curly state. It's something that I had been thinking about for a really long time prior to that, and it just gave me a kick out of the butt basically. So I remember doing some research on YouTube. Those were the days when I didn't even realise that you could find these things on YouTube. I remember just being amazed. I went to a really huge bookstore in Dubai Mall, and I bought 2 books on naturally curly hair. I will link the details in the video description below. It really gave me a huge insight on completely looking after my hair in the wrong way. In fact, that's even the wrong way to say it. I wasn't looking after my hair. I was just getting by and doing the minimum to look presentable basically. I was killing my hair. I did a lot of research. I went out and bought a whole load of new products. I went out and bought a whole load of new accessories, and it was really exciting. And I think the first thing that I remember feeling is scared at how people would accept me. I think especially as a black woman in the media, Afro hair is kind of almost, or was almost perceived, because I think things are changing a lot now, as messy and unkempt and untidy and unprofessional. And the profession I was working in at the time was aviation, and there were a lot of girls of my skin colour. None of them had natural hair, or none of them were wearing natural hair. They were wearing braids, they were wearing weaves, they had their hair short in like a kind of bob or a pixie cut. So that was probably the most scariest bit for me. And also living in a really Western society. Of course I was living in the Middle East, but was probably not so used to seeing someone wearing their hair like that. And for me, it wouldn't have made a big difference if I was at home in the UK, in London for sure. I can rock anything, and you know, you're an individual and love it. So those were the main concerns, but I made the decision one day. I took the braids out and thought, do you know what, I'm not doing them again. And it was just such a liberating feeling. I remember washing my hair thinking, I had no idea on twist outs, braid outs, like call me stupid, but like, am I the only person out there that did? I had no idea. So I did my own version of a twist out before I even realised these things existed. I washed my hair, I didn't moisturise it, I don't even think I put any oil on it. That was my first ever twist out, and I just remember thinking, oh my god, the shrinking, oh my god, my hair's so short but it's so curly and it's so nice to touch my own hair. And I was living with another girl who's now one of my best friends, and she was like, oh my god, I love it, like how did you get it like that? Why didn't you have it like that all the time? And so that was a really, really good response. So that was the first person I bumped into, and then I was a bit kind of like, I'm not really sure how everyone's going to perceive me. I feel a bit like a tomboy because I'm so used to having the braids and my hair, like, not my hair, but having hair here and feeling more feminine and more comfortable. So I went out and bought a load of hair accessories, hairbands and scarves that I tied into ribbons to look more feminine, and I bought some new clothes. I dressed more edgy to suit the afro, and I felt like it suited my personality more having my natural hair like that. And I started to wear brighter colours on my face because I was always kind of really, really shy and plain. So I started wearing like pinks and reds, and that really was the time that I started to grow in confidence because I was embracing my natural hair. I really, really felt more comfortable and more confident, and I started to get more attention from people because they weren't so used to seeing it. I was living in the Middle East, I was living in Dubai, and there really wasn't anyone else wearing their hair like that at that point. I did have one negative reaction for one of the companies I was working for, which was an airline based in the Middle East. I'm not going to mention names. Surprisingly, it came from a manager quite high up who was actually British. Really, really surprised at her reaction because I remember all the crew like, oh my god, you look amazing, I love your hair like that. Passengers were even commenting on it, like how nice I looked. And okay, I was like going to my head a little bit. And I just remember queuing up in the staff shop and I was getting a coffee, and I couldn't really tie my hair back at that point because it was so short and I was trying to grow it out. And so I was wearing it back, but I had a thin black headband. So I had it as tidy as I think I could have got it. You know what it is like to have natural hair. You can't really control what it's going to look like from one day to the next. So I would try and do my twist outs as perfect as possible for work, and then on my days off I would wear it like crazy fro style, which I love, and just let it free without trying to control the curls or manipulate them. Do you know what I mean? So she said to me, can you sort out your hair? It looks untidy. And I thought initially when she said, can you tie back your hair because it's untidy? And I was like, I'm sorry, what? What now? Sorry, I'm not even gonna attempt to even, this is me, this is my hair. Afro hair is the only hair type like that. And I would think that everyone would know that. But they're so used to seeing girls with African or Caribbean backgrounds trying to conform to Western society that they don't even know. So that was my first negative experience. Don't even think I even said anything, I was just in complete shock. And then I remember going in the next week into the office and saying, listen, you came up to me and said this to me. I spoke to her and another manager. My hair's too short to tie back at the moment. This is my natural hair. There's nothing in the manuals, in the grooming manuals, to say that you can't have natural hair. There's everything regarding every other hair type. So you have to make an allowance. The Afro hair is just completely different to any other hair type. And I think they got the point. But I don't think I should have had to have done that. There was another negative comment, which was from another black girl, and she was African, from Kenya. And I just remember her coming up to me going, my god, what happened to your hair? It looks like a mess. And I was like, I remember saying I really would not expect that from somebody who is like another sister like me. Do you know what I mean? We should be there to support each other. If I see another girl out there rocking the Afro, I'm like, just get a few weird looks. Generally were from other black girls, which was really odd. Reaction I got that was positive, I guess, were from people that weren't so used to seeing Afro hair. So that's really weird. Bearing in mind I was living in Dubai. Shortly after that, we say a year after that, I moved back to the UK, and I've had my hair natural ever since. Not put any chemicals in it, I've not put any braids in it. I tell a lie, I did put braids in it, but that's when I went on holiday to Malaysia, and it's really humid, and I know from experience when I had my natural hair there, I would go out and it'd be like there, and then I'd come back and it'd be like that short on my head. So I decided to have like box braids up to there, and I did that myself as well, which I regretted because it took so freaking long. So that's my experiences. I hope some of this has resonated with some of you, and I hope my positive experience has helped some of you that are possibly thinking about going natural. I went natural in 2013, so 3 years. If you do like the video, please give it a thumbs up and comment if you feel like any of it's resonated with you. And if you'd like to see more of me, please do subscribe, and I'll keep on making videos like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.